morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. If you aren't, well, don't worry, it's about to be. My name's Joel. This is Leia. This is Buster. This is Rocky. That's Gavin. And this is A Stable Life. Gavin, do you know what day it is? It's Manure Day! Woo! Oh yeah, Leia, give me an up top. Right here. Let's go. Right here. Yeah. You ready for Manure Day? Are you ready for Manure Day? Let's go! Woo! And guys, I have some even better news. On top of it, Manure Day, that's right, it's below freezing. Temperature's reading 20 degrees down here, which is perfect because I am getting tired of mud season, let me tell you. So the ground, at least the top layer, is finally frozen, which is going to help out a lot. From what we saw when we were cleaning out the hooves, we had some problems that were about to be showing up with thrush and abscesses, but thankfully, due to our preventative maintenance, we were able to prevent almost all of them. There was one horse, my mom's horse, Argento, that was on the verge of about having an abscess. He's starting to limp. We cleaned it out, so we reduced it from being a major problem to now a small problem, but I believe he is still limping. We'll find out when we turn him in. Which leads me to my next point. We need to get the grain out, we need to get the hay out, and we need to get the manure out so we can get these horses in and get them checked out.
Let's go.
So we need to measure out, move some hay, and grab some manure.
Hi, are you working? I'm supposed to be working. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning.
Mom, do you know what day it is?
I'm not really sure, but I'm guessing it's Manure Day.
Yeah, it is. It's Manure Day. All right, everything's in. And you know, guys, there are times that I wish it goes as quickly as it does for you guys. That being said, let's let some horses in.
Hey, Poncho. Hey, Champ. Hey, Casino. Hey, Poe. Hey, Jack. Hey, Falcon. Hey, Rebel.
Guys, check it out. Tucker's got a new blanket, size 90, and it just fits him. That's good. Sitting pretty, aren't you, buddy? Man, you're huge. Here's a size comparison for you. There you go. And if you're looking at them thinking that their bodies are the same size, then that is purely just the camera messing with you, or whatever device you're watching this on, because they are nowhere near the same size. All the horses are in, everything's set up and ready. So today's actually going to be pretty unique, because not only is it Manure Day, but we're actually going to be starting to use round bales. I know. Before you go to the comment section, hear me out. I have a whole thing prepared to talk about round bales. Let's go grab the four-wheeler and let's take out some manure because it's Manure Day. Ow! Now some of you may ask, Joel, how come you're so excited to take manure out of the stable? Because manure is awesome. That's why. Now, in all seriousness, guys, I understand that it's a dirty job and something that not a lot of people like to do, but you know, if I'm all negative about it, I still have to do the job. I'd rather be happy about it than I'm in a good mood while I'm doing the job. While I'm out grabbing the manure and moving it from the stable down to our compost pile, There's a few horses that need a blanket change, so Gavin's gonna be handling that. A lot of you guys have been asking why we blanket the horses, because the temperature is only in the 20s or the 30s, and that the horses shouldn't need a blanket. And you are highly right. There are horses that can go down into the negative temperatures, and they're completely fine. That's not the case for our horses. A lot of our horses have come from down south, and they're just used to being blanketed, or they come from a warmer climate, so they don't have a very thick winter coat at all. If we don't blanket them, they start to shiver, they lose weight, and they can even get sicknesses like a cold. And a cold for a horse is a lot more serious than a cold for a person. Not to mention that each of them has a different threshold for the temperature that they need. Like Tucker and Falcon, as an example, can handle the 20s and the 30s practically fine, so long as there's no wind or rain. There are other horses that need a medium blanket on, and our blankets are 3 classes: sheet, medium, heavy. Sheets are the lightest, heavies are the heaviest. And it's similar to how when you go out, certain people can wear shorts and a sweatshirt and they're completely fine in 30 degrees. Other people need a scarf, a hat, earmuffs, the whole works, and they're still freezing. Same with people, same with horses.
It may be manure day, but you know what time it is right now? That's right, it's donkey time. Came to bring the donkeys a slice of hay, and this place is filled with manure. Joel's gonna be here to get the manure from this run-in shed soon, so I might as well fill it up for him. Now that the hay is out and the run-in shed is clean, let's get these donkeys out.
All right, I am back from doing manure. Whew, we had quite a lot, over 6 loads today. That being said, while I was away, Gavin was able to do everything else, so we're good for turnout. So we'll go ahead and get the guys to where they need to be, starting with Suede. Here you go, buddy. Put your head. Let him go get a drink. And I don't know if you can hear Declan banging on his stall door. It's basically saying, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. You want to go out? Huh, do you? I couldn't tell. We're just going to let out a little group here, and then we're going to wait a little bit. That way we can give them all a chance to get their drinks before we let out the next group that's going into the same pasture. Let them all go out. Now they can get their drink while those guys are getting their drink. And then we'll just check on them. And then once they're all done getting their drinks, then we'll close up the pastures. And then we got to grab the round bales and bring them in. And like I said, I will go more in depth with that once we're actually out next to the round bales. So, round bales. Ooh, that is a scary word, especially for people that despise them, have had bad experiences with them, potentially had horses that come down with serious problems because of round bales. However, that being said, is it actually because of the round bale, or is it because of the round bale that they used? Believe me, I have seen hundreds of awful small square bales in my life. Ones that will cause the exact same problem round bales do. You see, in reality, the main difference between round bales and square bales is the amount, how it's stored, and how it's baled. So when it comes to our round bales, now a lot of you that are horse owners will see this and think, are those wrapped round bales? Yeah, they are. And you might be thinking, are you out of your mind? Why would you ever feed a wrapped round bale to horses? That's going to kill them. That's where you're actually incorrect. And let me explain why. When it comes to these round bales, the reason why they're wrapped is actually quite simple. We have nowhere under roof to store them. Everywhere back at our horse stable that can fit a round bale underneath is used either for small square bales or horses. The only other area that we could put would be where my tractor's parked, and even then it could only fit a handful of round bales, not the amount that we actually need. So we came up with this idea, and it's purely a test. If this does not work, then sadly, until we're able to afford a barn that's big enough to be able to store round bales in, we're gonna have to go back to using mainly square bales, which I am prepared to do. After they're baled, we wrap them in a net wrap. Now, you will see this later on in the video, but that net wrap is actually really important because they've actually done studies on this and found that bales that are net wrapped actually have up to 5% less spoilage than bales that are twine wrapped. And the simple way is that the net wrapping allows the bale to breathe better. That net wrapping helps it do its final breathing before it's put in this wrap. Now, our reasoning behind this was so that the wrapping will prevent any moisture from getting inside. This will only work if the bale itself is dry. If there's any moisture inside there, because it's wrapped in plastic, that moisture will turn to mold, ferment, create dust, and all of the problems that horse owners hate with round bales. Spoilage, dust, leading to your horses now having problems with coughing, having problems with breathing, leading to your pastures being covered in hay spoilage and waste. Ultimately, it's the #1 reason why horse people despise using round bales. But looking at this with a fresh aspect and a fresh idea, I realized that a lot of the reasons that we aren't using round bales are manageable. We could actually work those out. So I decided to do a test. And when my Uncle Brian got a round baler, I saw an opportunity for us to actually go not to entirely using round bales, but to maybe getting things so that during our heaviest, coldest months, when we go through the most square bales, we could actually use round bales instead. You see, each one of these bales actually holds 23 small square bales. You can just imagine how much square bales are right here as each round bale stacks up. I didn't have to pick this up, stack it, or move it myself at all, which when I'm 60, I definitely will appreciate. So that comes down to spoilage. Will this work? Well, we're gonna find out when we grab these bales and take them down into our feeders. My goal is to keep this at 95% good, or in other words, 5% spoilage. That's my tolerance. Doing the math, that's about 1 square bale. That one small square bale that is spoiled is completely negligible. Doesn't matter. And we're still actually saving money when it comes to these. That being said, if we're saving money at the cost of the horses that are kept at our stable, that won't do. Our horses are our clients. If our horses start getting sick, losing weight, or we start experiencing health problems because we're using round bales, regardless of the cost, then the round bales will have to go. So, how can we give round bales the best shot that we can? And I understand the concerns and worries that you may have. If you've been a viewer of the channel, and I know that I've only actually been posting videos for, by the point that this video will be going out, it'll be 3.5 months. I've been working with horses for the past 10 years. My mom's been working with horses for the past 35 years. And when it comes to horse experience, we always want to make sure that the horses are healthy. You can see that through the channel that we have a deep love for the animals that we care for. We would never do anything that would hurt the horse. All right, so this is actually our first bale that we're going to be opening aside from our test bale. You can see it's got an H for horses. We haven't actually seen how these are going to turn out. We're hopeful that it's going to turn out well. From what I saw from the spear going in, it's looking really good inside, but let's see. Oh my goodness, it's dry, no mold, no moisture. It does have a little bit more of a yellower look, but that's simply because it had no air on it, which is good. That's what we wanted. We didn't want any air on it because we didn't want any mold to form. Awesome. Horses will definitely be able to eat that up. That'll be great. We're looking under 5% waste would be okay. Anything over that, and then this might not be able to work for our current situation. What's neat about a round bale that's a little bit different than your normal square bale is a square bale is cut to fit, whereas a round bale, the hay is simply rolled. There's no cut edges in this at all. So what that means is when the horse is eating this up, as they're going through and it's going through the digestive system, this is a lot smoother. It runs through the system a lot nicer. They burn less calories eating this simply because it does not have a cut edge. The only problems, like I said before, are if you can get the hay dry when it's baled and stored properly. If you can manage those two things, round bales are perfectly fine. Oh, and you have the machinery to move it. But if you got those three things, round bales are perfectly fine, so long as it's managed correctly. So, here's my test. Being that we can't store these in a barn, they had to be wrapped. Being that they had to be wrapped, that means that we have to make sure they were baled dry. We wrapped them a little bit extra to make sure that no moisture can go through. And the final test was the ground. Being that there's plastic on the bottom, can condensate, allowing moisture to be pulled from the ground through the plastic into the hay, creating spoilage on the bottom. What I wanted to see was how much spoilage, and if we could reduce that by putting pallets underneath. We're going to find that out later in the video, what the answer is, but half of the round bales that we have here are on pallets, the other half aren't. All right, so if you look here, we got the first inch. I don't think it goes beyond that. It does not. It does not. It is only the first inch. So what we'll do, Gavin, is when we put this in, let's just peel this right off. The compost pile is right here. We'll toss that in. I'm thinking this bale is going to be around 5%, which is right where our threshold is. However, that being said, for next year, until things change and we actually are able to have a storage barn to stack our bales in that can support big bales like round bales or large square bales, I think what we'll have to do is put pallets underneath, because the results definitely speak for themselves there. Like piranhas, my goodness. And that's what's nice about it being a roll. Take it right out. Is when it's time to restock this, I'll take the feeder, pick it up over, and then anything that's spoilage we can take out and we can move over. So long as we're underneath 5%, which this is the stuff that's spoiled, if we actually have a nice picked clean feeder and our horses aren't losing weight. Now this is quality hay. I was a part of the bale making process. I can speak for it for myself. And I think that speaks for itself too. Okay, so after finding out what the differences was between the two, what I'm going to do is I am going to feed all of the round bales that do not have the pallets underneath them first. That way we can reduce the chance of more spoilage occurring as we go throughout the months. We're approaching January now, which means that things should start getting wetter, hopefully snowier. The more bales we feed, the better an idea we will have on how the bales are doing. I think we're only going to be feeding 3 today. All right, the last thing that's on our list for today is we got to fill Tucker's water trough up. So we actually have water that runs from the stable down to Poncho's water trough, and this is also where we get the donkey's water from. But what we're going to have to do is take buckets and bucket it from Poncho's over to Tucker's and fill Tucker's up by hand. There are loads of ways for us to do this without bucketing it, but this is more of a short-term solution for a temporary problem. Looking forward to fixing this upcoming spring and summer, but for now, this is just what we have to do. Poor Gavin. He just hit himself in the head with the bucket. Tell the people. I see that there is a drone watching us. In the tub, Gavin. In the tub. Woohoo! So we got Tucker's water trough full. Gavin, how was it?
Wet.
Yeah, how come you got so wet?
Half of it is my fault, and then the other half is because of the ice. And as we started filling it up, the ice got lifted up by the water. And when it got close to the top, and I dumped the last bucket in, it kind of did like what happens when you put a spoon under a faucet. It just goes like that. So it hit the ice and just bounced onto my leg.
And how does the leg feel?
Very moist.
And guys, it is on that note that we're actually going to be ending the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely super happy to have you guys with us. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like button. And as always, I'd appreciate your subscription. Just click that little subscribe button. Woo. So, thanks for watching, guys. And as always,
We'll see you in the next one.